Hello people! Okay, so today I just want to talk about headstand again. So headstand is, obviously it's not necessary. You don't have to do headstand. If you can do headstand, it doesn't mean you're good at, very good yogi or you're good at yoga. So it's not, headstand is not like a yardstick to measure how good you are. So many people do years of yoga practice without headstand, and that's no problem. That's absolutely fine. But it's just for many people, headstand can be the highlight of yoga practice. There's more. Once you achieve headstand, there's more things you can do. But just one big milestone in your yoga practice. And I think it's because it's a little bit out of ordinary. It's not something you can just do on day one. It's something you really need to learn the skill. And it gives you a really good sense of achievement to go upside down. You need to learn something, and it's challenging for most of us. And the challenge alone is really uplifting and confidence building. So I love headstand and I love teaching headstand. So today I want to talk a little bit about technical side of headstand. So some of you might have tried, or some of you might be thinking of trying. And I just want to tell you a few mistakes people do in headstand. So first thing, this is the biggest mistake, is weight on the head. So it's called a headstand. So it sounds as if you have a lot of weight on the head. But in fact, to do a good headstand, you hardly put any weight on the head. So where do you put the weight? You put it on your elbow. So if you do this style of headstand, the most weight. So weight is 2 elbows and on top of the head, but most weight is on the elbows. Okay? If you do tripod headstand, which I don't recommend you to start with tripod, then most weight on the hands. Okay? So that's so crucial. And if you can get the technique right to have most weight on the elbows, then you're 90% there. Okay? And another mistake, number 2 mistake, is when you go into headstand, I see lots of people take the elbows wide. So just slowly, elbows get wider and wider and wider. So if your shoulders are really engaged and elbows are really into the floor, then it shouldn't move anyway. And I don't know why, but just people have natural tendency to let the elbows go wider. That's my cat. And once your elbows are wider, then you lose the engagement of the shoulders. So I have seen people doing headstand with belt, yoga belt around the elbows. Some people suggest have some yoga belt, yoga block around the elbows. So I never taught in that way. I wouldn't particularly recommend it, but just have a mental picture that you're having the elbow wrapped with the yoga belt, or you're squeezing something between the elbows. Okay? Because it's not the elbow itself, it's the shoulders. If you let the elbows go wider, then you let your shoulders loose. Okay. And number 3, and this is my biggest hate. So when people come to yoga class and learn headstand, I sometimes see people putting things under the head. So maybe folding the blanket, or just folding double and triple the mat, put something under the forehead. Because people don't want to feel pressure on the head. But I hate this for 2 reasons. So 1, as I said, most weight when you're upside down in headstand is on the elbows. Okay? So you shouldn't really feel any pressure on the head. It touches, you feel it's touching the floor, but you shouldn't feel any pressure on the head. Okay? And this is the biggest problem. If you put something under the head, then, so you're upside down. If you put something under the head, it lifts the head. Then it actually makes the engagement of the shoulders harder because your head is a little bit closer to the neck. So that's, you're putting extra weight on the head. Okay, so don't put something under the head. So that's not necessary, and that makes things worse, harder. Then, once you are actually going upside down, so most people have to have a little kick, okay, or little hop. And that's okay. Have a little bit of momentum is fine. But I do see people just to kick up. So almost like take a chance and go kick against the wall. Then somehow kind of balance there. And that's not the way to do. Okay. And this tends to happen to quite like light, slight people and people who are very flexible, who haven't really learned the technique. So it's not a kicky. If you kick, then that means you're not in control. You're not controlling your movement. So you need to engage your core, engage your body muscles, and control that leg lift. Okay? So a little bit of kicking, but with controlled kicking. And also, clearly, if you always kick, then you will never learn to move away from the wall. And finally, so this is once you can go up against the wall, then that's great if you can go up against the wall nearly there, so that's wonderful. But sometimes I see people's back, I call it banana back. So bent over, swaying back. And you need to engage your core muscles and squeeze your rib in. So you shouldn't stick out your belly. You should pull your belly in and pull the ribs in and engage your core muscle to stay upright. So these are 5 mistakes people make. I'm sure there are more, but these are things I obviously think about. So just to recap. So weight on the head, that's the biggest mistake. So you shouldn't feel much weight on the head. And not to feel the weight on the head, you must push your elbows into the floor. Pull the shoulder blades away from the ears. Most weight on the elbows. Okay. Then number 2, this is related to number 1, but don't let your elbows go wider. Okay. So if your elbows are really pushed to the floor, then it shouldn't go wider anyway. So it should really stay solidly in that position. Number 3, padding under the head. It's not necessary and it makes things worse. Okay, it makes it harder. Then number 4, so this is especially for flexible people or maybe young people, very athletic people. You kick up and little bit of momentum is good, but you need to kick up with more control. Okay, so don't kick and hope that you will stay there. You need to kick up carefully with control and lift your legs. Then finally, once you are up against the wall, then don't have sway back. So don't have banana back. You need to squeeze your belly in. You need to keep your ribs in and make your body, middle of the body solid. So as if you have corset. My teacher used to say, as if you have a corset. So solid in the center. Okay, so these are just a few technical things about headstand. So headstand is fun. I think it's fun. And it builds confidence. It gives a sense of achievement. So headstand practice is really, really wonderful. And also, not just psychological things, but headstand, you can say, is culmination of your yoga practice. Because as we have said, we have seen, you need to engage your shoulders. You need to engage your core. you need to kick up or lift up with control. So all these muscles and the flexibility you can develop through your yoga practice. So do regular yoga practice, then you'll have all the equipment you need for the headstand. Okay, my cat is so noisy. And anyway, so this weekend, so that's tomorrow, 1st of November, and Sunday, 2nd of November, I'll be running 2 sessions or 2 mornings of headstand challenge, and it's free. So from 10 o'clock for about 45 minutes, but I have whole morning free, so it can go longer. So we do probably half an hour of practice. So probably maybe 15 minutes of yoga practice, targeting specifically for these important muscles and the flexibility. Then on Saturday, we do head balance, which is really easy. Then half headstand. So unless you're already comfortably going upside down, first day, we will just do the foundation right. Then on Sunday, if anybody want to, we will try to go up against the wall. So if you're interested in, it's completely free. You can register. So I'll put the registration link in the first comment. And also, if you're watching this in Instagram or anything else, it's in my bio, so you can find it somewhere. And if you register, then everybody will get a recording. So even if you cannot join live, you will receive the video. So please, even if you know you're away, you're busy in the morning, please sign up. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye.